Before you judge the anger in a young man, ask yourself who taught him what to do with his pain. Before you call him cold, ask who made him believe that having feelings was dangerous. Before you call him lost, ask who was supposed to guide him. Because everywhere I look, I see young men walking around with fire inside them and nowhere meaningful to put it. They are angry, but they cannot explain why. They are surrounded by people, but they feel alone. They want respect, but they have never learned how to respect themselves. They want love, but the moment love gets close, they become afraid of it. They are searching for direction in a world that gives them thousands of voices to follow, but almost nobody worth becoming. And society looks at these men after they fall apart and asks, what is wrong with them? Maybe that is the wrong question. Maybe we should be asking, what happened to them? What happened to the boy before he became the man everybody now fears, judges, or ignores? Who was there when he first learned that his tears made people uncomfortable? Who told him that admitting fear made him weak? Who taught him that his value depended on how much money he earned, how many women wanted him, how strong he looked, or how many people were afraid to disrespect him? We keep talking about dangerous men without talking about wounded boys. We keep punishing the explosion while ignoring the fire that was burning for years. And let me make something clear. Pain does not excuse destruction. Being hurt does not give you permission to hurt innocent people. A difficult childhood does not give you the right to become somebody else's nightmare. But if we refuse to understand where the damage begins, we will keep producing the same damaged men and acting surprised when the consequences reach us. A boy does not enter this world believing that sadness is shameful. He learns it. He falls, he cries, and somebody tells him to stop. He becomes frightened and somebody laughs. He admits that something hurt him and somebody says, be a man. What does that mean to a child? Usually it means, do not cry, do not complain, do not admit that you need anybody. Handle everything alone, and whatever happens, never let the world see you bleed. So he learns to hide, not heal, hide. Every emotion that does not fit inside the definition of masculinity gets locked away. Fear gets locked away. Grief gets locked away. Insecurity gets locked away. Tenderness gets locked away. But emotions do not disappear because you refuse to name them. They wait. They change shape. Sadness ignored long enough can return as anger. Fear can return as control. Insecurity can return as arrogance. Loneliness can return as addiction. A desperate need for love can return as obsession, jealousy, or violence. Then everybody sees the anger, but nobody sees what the anger is protecting. Maybe it is protecting a boy who never felt safe. Maybe it is protecting a man who believes nobody could love the person underneath the armor. Maybe it is protecting the same question he has carried since childhood. Am I enough? A lot of men spend their entire lives trying to answer that question without ever saying it aloud. They try to answer it with money, with muscles, with cars, with women, with weapons, with followers, with power. They believe that if they can become impressive enough, nobody will notice how unworthy they feel. But you cannot purchase your way out of self-hatred. You cannot intimidate your way into peace. You cannot collect enough attention to replace the love you never received. You can own the room and still feel powerless inside yourself. You can have everybody watching you and still believe nobody truly sees you. That is the tragedy. Some men do not want to be feared because they are strong. They want to be feared because they remember what it felt like to be powerless. Some men chase respect because they never felt loved. Some men need to control everybody around them because they have no control over the war inside themselves. And the world is full of people ready to profit from that war. The internet sees the lost boy. It sees his anger. It sees his rejection. It sees that he feels invisible. Then an algorithm puts a voice in front of him. That voice tells him it understands. It tells him why he is suffering. It gives him somebody to blame. Women, society, weak men, immigrants, rich people, poor people, another race, another generation, anybody except the wound he is afraid to confront. For the first time, the boy feels recognized. So he keeps watching. The voice tells him that masculinity means domination, that women are prizes, that kindness is weakness, that every human relationship is a competition, that if he does not have money, power, status, and a perfect body, he is nothing. The boy entered the internet searching for direction. The internet gave him an enemy. And anger feels like direction when you have no purpose. Hatred feels like belonging when you have no community. A crowd repeating your pain back to you can feel like a family when nobody at home ever listened. That is how the internet becomes a father to boys whose fathers were absent, silent, or emotionally unreachable. But an algorithm does not love you. It does not care whether you become a good man. It only cares whether you keep watching. Peace does not keep you watching as long as outrage. Healing does not sell as quickly as insecurity. So the machine keeps feeding the wound. It shows the young man lives he cannot afford, bodies he does not have, relationships he has never experienced, and definitions of success designed to make him feel behind. Then it sells him a solution. Become harder, become richer, become colder. Never apologize, never trust, never let a woman have power over you, never allow another man to challenge you. Make everybody respect you. But respect built on fear disappears the moment the fear disappears. If people only obey you because they are afraid, they do not respect you. They are surviving you. Being dangerous is not the same as being strong. Anybody can destroy something in a moment of rage. Strength is having the power to destroy and choosing discipline instead. Strength is controlling yourself when your pride demands revenge. Strength is walking away from a fight you know you could win because you understand what losing your freedom would cost. Strength is protecting people without needing to control them. Strength is keeping your word when nobody is watching. Strength is admitting that you were wrong. A weak man can carry a weapon. A weak man can scream. A weak man can make a woman afraid. A weak man can humiliate somebody smaller than him. None of that proves strength. Real strength is much quieter. It is responsibility, discipline, patience, self-control. It is becoming a safe place in a world that taught you only how to become a threat. But too many boys never see that kind of man. Maybe their father disappeared. Maybe he was physically present but emotionally absent. Maybe he came home every night but never asked his son what was happening inside him. Maybe the only lesson he gave was, do what I say. Maybe he provided money but never provided guidance. Maybe he loved his son but had no language for that love because nobody had ever spoken it to him. We talk about absent fathers as if absence only means leaving the house. A father can sit across the table from his son every night and still be absent from his life. A boy needs more than somebody paying the bills. He needs somebody showing him what integrity looks like. Somebody teaching him how to lose without becoming bitter, how to love without controlling, how to defend himself without searching for conflict, how to carry responsibility without believing the whole world belongs on his shoulders, how to choose friends, how to survive rejection, how to apologize, how to treat women as complete human beings instead of sources of validation, how to become a man without killing the child inside him. Without that guidance, boys search everywhere. They copy the loudest man in the room because nobody taught them that wisdom does not always shout. They confuse arrogance with confidence, possession with love, attention with respect, cruelty with power. And when society tells a young man to be better, he may not even understand what better looks like. Nobody showed him. We demand maturity from boys we abandoned emotionally. We expect them to create identities from nothing. Then we become angry when they choose the wrong examples. But there is another truth that must be spoken. At some point, you cannot keep blaming your father. At some point, you cannot keep blaming your mother, your neighborhood, your ex, your poverty, or the people who failed you. Understanding your wound explains the beginning of your story. It does not have to control the ending. You may not be responsible for what happened to you as a child, but once you become a man, healing becomes your responsibility. That may not feel fair. It is not fair. Some people inherit houses, some inherit money, some inherit confidence, discipline, and a healthy understanding of love. Others inherit fear, violence, addiction, silence, anger. You did not choose what was handed to you, but you choose what you hand to the next person. Your pain is not permission to destroy others. The woman who loves you is not responsible for repairing everything another woman did. Your children should not have to fear you because your father made you feel small. Your friends should not have to survive your anger because nobody taught you how to communicate. You cannot keep handing your wounds to innocent people and calling it masculinity. Eventually, you have to decide. This pain stops with me. That is one of the hardest decisions a man can make. Because healing may require you to question everything you were taught. Maybe silence was never strength. Maybe jealousy was never love. Maybe revenge was never justice. Maybe having many women never proved that you were valuable. Maybe pretending not to care was only another way of admitting that you were terrified. Some men are not afraid of love. They are afraid of what love reveals. Love brings you close enough for somebody to see what you hide from the rest of the world. The insecurity, the fear of abandonment, the need for reassurance, the memories that still hurt, the parts of yourself you believe would make somebody leave. So you push love away before love has the opportunity to reject you. You act cold when you care. You disappear instead of communicating. You create arguments to test whether somebody will stay. You betray before you can be betrayed. You call emotional distance freedom because admitting that you need another person feels too dangerous. But needing people does not make you weak. Human beings were never designed to survive everything alone. There is a difference between independence and isolation. Independence means you can stand on your own feet. Isolation means you are afraid to let anybody stand beside you. A lot of men say, I do not need anybody, when what they mean is, I needed somebody once and they were not there. That is not freedom. That is pain pretending to be strength. And if you never confront it, you will keep punishing every new person for what somebody from your past did. You will call every woman untrustworthy because one betrayed you. You will treat love like a battlefield and wonder why every relationship becomes a war. You will demand loyalty while behaving in ways that make trust impossible. Then when the person finally leaves, you will use their departure as proof that nobody stays. Sometimes we create the ending we feared because the fear controls everything we do. Real love requires courage. It requires the courage to say, I care. That hurt me. I was wrong. I am afraid of losing you. I need help. Those words do not make you less of a man. They prove you are strong enough to stand without the armor. But choose carefully who receives that honesty. Vulnerability does not mean trusting everybody. Some people will use your pain against you. Some people will laugh. Some will treat your openness as weakness. That is why a man needs discernment, not emotional death. He needs boundaries, not walls around his entire soul. He needs to learn who deserves access without convincing himself that nobody does. Because a man with no safe place to tell the truth becomes dangerous to himself. He carries everything alone until the weight changes him. He drinks to silence it, works until he cannot feel it, fights because anger is the only emotion that makes him feel powerful, gambles because risk makes him feel alive, chases sex because being desired gives him a few minutes without self-doubt. He may call these things pleasure. Sometimes they are anesthesia, and anesthesia is not healing. It only delays the moment when you must feel what you have been escaping. The saddest part is that many men will suffer in a room full of friends and never say one honest sentence. They will talk about sports, money, women, cars, work, and everything happening in the world. But nobody will say, I am not doing well. Nobody wants to make the room uncomfortable. Nobody wants to become the weak one. So they joke, they laugh, they insult each other affectionately. Then each man returns home carrying a private battle that none of his friends knows exists. That is not brotherhood. Being together is not the same as knowing each other. Real brotherhood means being able to tell your friend when he is destroying himself. It means refusing to celebrate behavior that will eventually ruin his life. It means asking him how he is really doing and remaining there long enough to hear the truth. It means not disappearing when his pain becomes inconvenient. And sometimes it means telling him something he does not want to hear. You are wrong. You need help. You cannot keep treating people this way. This path ends in prison, death, or loneliness. A real friend does not help you lie to yourself. A real friend does not watch you drive toward a cliff because confronting you might damage the mood. Brotherhood is not agreeing with everything a man does. It is caring enough about the man he could become to challenge the man he is becoming. Young men need that. They need other men who call them upward, not men who feed their worst impulses. Not men who turn every insecurity into hatred. Not men who convince them that every problem can be solved through domination. They need mentors, coaches, teachers, older brothers, fathers who are willing to learn what their own fathers never taught them. Men who can say, I made mistakes. You do not have to repeat them. Because if the only person offering a lost young man direction is somebody selling anger, anger will become his religion. And society has many uses for an angry young man. It can sell him products, sell him fantasies, sell him politics, sell him enemies. It can send him to war, put him in prison, use his labor until his body breaks, then convince him that asking for help would be weakness. The system does not always fear your anger. Sometimes it depends on it. A man without direction is easy to manipulate. Give him an enemy and he will fight. Give him a symbol and he will worship it. Give him a product and tell him it proves his value, and he will work his life away trying to afford it. Give him a prison sentence after never giving him an opportunity and call the result personal failure. Society neglects young men while they are becoming dangerous, then spends fortunes punishing them after the damage is done. It closes schools and builds prisons, removes mentors and hires more guards, ignores the child, then fears the adult. But personal responsibility and social responsibility can both be true. A man must answer for his choices. Society must answer for the conditions it creates. We cannot tell every poor boy that success is available to anybody while pretending everybody begins at the same starting line. One boy grows up with stability, connections, education, and a family waiting to catch him if he falls. Another grows up surrounded by violence, hunger, addiction, and adults already struggling to survive themselves. Both must make choices. But do not insult the truth by pretending their choices carry the same weight. Some young men are not choosing between a good opportunity and a bad one. They are choosing between two forms of survival. That does not mean they are doomed. It means guidance matters. Opportunity matters. Being seen before you become a problem matters. Give a boy one adult who truly believes in him, and you may change the direction of his entire life. Give him work that produces dignity. Give him responsibility that proves he is needed. Give him a skill, a craft, a team, a purpose larger than his ego. Young men need something worth building. When a man has nothing meaningful to build, destruction can make him feel powerful. Purpose organizes pain. It gives sacrifice a direction. It tells you why you should wake up when motivation disappears. And purpose does not have to mean becoming famous or rich. That is another lie hurting this generation. Not every meaningful life will be watched by millions. You can live with purpose by protecting your family, mastering your work, teaching a child, helping your community, creating something honest, keeping your promises, becoming the person people can call when everything goes wrong. The world may never applaud that man. He matters anyway. Fame is not proof of value. Visibility is not proof of purpose. Some of the strongest men in the world will never become known outside their neighborhoods. They go to work tired. They come home and remain patient. They keep food on the table. They refuse to repeat the violence they survived. They raise children who do not have to recover from their childhood. There may be no cameras, no followers, no luxury cars. But do not tell me that man is unsuccessful. He broke a cycle. He turned pain into protection. He became the safety he never had. That is power. Become the man you needed when you were a boy. Think about that. Maybe you needed somebody to listen. Then become a man who listens. Maybe you needed protection. Become somebody who makes others feel safe. Maybe you needed encouragement. Learn how to recognize potential in the child everybody else has dismissed. Maybe you needed discipline. Build discipline without confusing it with cruelty. Maybe you needed a father who apologized. Become a father whose pride is not more important than his children. You cannot travel backward and rescue the boy you were, but you can honor him by refusing to abandon the man you are becoming. And you can protect another boy from believing he has to face everything alone. That is how cycles end. Not through perfect speeches, through daily choices. You choose not to raise your hand when anger tells you to strike. You choose not to send the message that would destroy somebody. You choose not to drive when pride demands that you prove something. You choose to leave the corner, the room, or the relationship before one moment steals 20 years of your life. You choose to wake up and work even when nobody believes in the future you were building. You choose discipline when chaos feels more familiar. These choices may not look heroic, but real manhood is built in moments nobody records. It is built when temptation appears and you remember what you were trying to become. It is built when your child is watching, when your partner trusts you, when your friends expect you to make the wrong choice, when the old version of you asks to return. You do not become a better man through one emotional moment. You become one through repetition, one honest decision after another. And you will fail sometimes. You will lose your temper. You will return to something you promised to leave. You will disappoint yourself. The goal is not perfection. The goal is accountability. A boy hides his mistake because he fears punishment. A man faces what he did and repairs what he can. Do not turn shame into an excuse to keep falling. Shame says, I am a terrible person, so changing is impossible. Accountability says, I did something wrong and I am responsible for what happens next. There is a difference. You are more than your worst decision, but only if you stop allowing that decision to become your identity. Forgive yourself enough to change. Respect the people you hurt enough to change. And understand that sometimes they will not forgive you. Sometimes the damage cannot be undone. Healing does not guarantee that everybody returns. You still have to become better. Do not make your transformation dependent on receiving another chance from somebody you hurt. Change because you refuse to carry the same destruction into another life. Change because the next person deserves to meet the healed version of you. Change because you deserve to discover who you are without the anger controlling every decision. And when you begin changing, some people will not understand. The people who knew you through chaos may become uncomfortable with your peace. Friends who only connected through self-destruction may call you boring. People who benefited from your lack of boundaries may accuse you of becoming selfish. Stay focused. Not everybody who loses access to you has lost something they were treating with respect. Growth changes relationships. That is part of the price. But do not confuse growth with becoming heartless. The goal is not to turn cold. The world has enough cold men. Men who can provide money but cannot provide affection. Men who protect their image while destroying their families. Men who demand respect but never create safety. The world needs strong men with hearts that still work. Men who can confront evil without becoming addicted to cruelty. Men who can protect the vulnerable without needing applause. Men who understand that gentleness is not weakness when it comes from somebody capable of strength. A man should not be ashamed of tenderness. Hold your child. Tell your brother you love him. Call your father before it is too late. Apologize to your mother if she deserves that apology. Check on the friend who became quiet. Say the words while people are still alive to hear them. Too many men wait until a funeral to speak honestly. They stand beside a coffin and finally say everything pride stopped them from saying in life. Love people before grief makes love safe. Do not wait until nobody can answer. And if you are the man suffering in silence, listen carefully. You do not have to carry everything alone. Talk to somebody, a friend, a family member, a therapist, a mentor, a doctor, a person trained to help you understand what is happening inside your mind. Getting help is not surrender. Surrender is allowing the wound to destroy everything while pretending you remain in control. There is courage in admitting, I cannot solve this alone. You ask a mechanic for help when the engine breaks. You ask a doctor for help when the body breaks. Why would the mind be the only thing expected to repair itself in isolation? You are not weak because life became heavy. You are not less of a man because you became tired. You are not broken beyond repair because the methods you used to survive are now hurting you. Survival habits can be unlearned. Anger can be understood. Trust can be rebuilt. A man can change. But he must want the truth more than he wants the comfort of his excuses. He must stop making an identity out of his pain. Your trauma is part of your story. It is not your entire personality. Your father's absence affected you. It does not have to define how you father. Your heartbreak changed you. It does not have to make you incapable of loving. Your poverty limited your choices. It does not determine the size of your character. Your past explains you. It does not own you. You still have decisions to make. And that may be the message young men need most. Not that they are victims with no power. Not that they are monsters beyond redemption. That they have responsibility. That they have potential. That their lives matter before they become successful. That they are worthy before they become useful to somebody else. That they are allowed to feel pain without building a home inside it. That they can be angry at the world and still choose not to become another source of suffering within it. Young man, you do not need to prove your masculinity to strangers. You do not need to accept every challenge. You do not need to respond to every insult. You do not need every woman to desire you. You do not need a luxury car to prove you are moving forward. You do not need to become famous for your life to matter. You need principles. You need discipline. You need people who tell you the truth. You need work that develops you. You need a reason to respect the face you see when nobody else is watching. And you need the humility to begin again when you lose your way. Direction does not arrive as one perfect revelation. Sometimes direction begins with one decision. Wake up on time. Leave the group pulling you backward. Put the weapon down. Delete the number. Apply for the job. Return to school. Call your child. Tell the truth. Ask for help. Apologize. Begin with the next right decision. Then make another one tomorrow. A road is created by steps. A man is created by choices. You may feel behind. Maybe people your age already have the family, career, money, or confidence you thought you would have by now. Do not let comparison make you abandon your own future. You are not competing with the image somebody else shows the world. Your real competition is the version of you that keeps choosing the familiar pain over the unfamiliar possibility. The version of you that says, "This is just who I am." No, that is who you have been. It does not have to be who you remain. You are allowed to outgrow the person you became while trying to survive. You are allowed to learn peace after years of chaos. You are allowed to become soft in the places where life once made you hard. You are allowed to become a beginner. There is no shame in not knowing the way. The shame would be recognizing that you are lost and refusing every hand trying to guide you. This generation does not need more men pretending to know everything. It needs men brave enough to learn, men humble enough to listen, men disciplined enough to control their impulses, men compassionate enough to recognize another person's humanity, men with enough direction to guide somebody else without needing to dominate them. Because one day, whether you are prepared or not, a younger boy may begin watching you. He will watch how you speak to people, how you handle rejection, how you treat women, how you respond when you are disrespected, how you carry responsibility, how you act when you are angry. He may not remember everything you tell him. He will remember what you show him. Become an example worth remembering. Show him that a man can be powerful without becoming cruel, that he can cry without collapsing, that he can love without losing himself, that he can defend his dignity without destroying his future, that asking for help does not remove his strength, that respect begins with the way he treats people who have less power than he does. Show him what nobody showed you. You may never receive an apology from the people who failed you. You may never receive the explanation you deserve. Do not let their silence become your life sentence. Build with what remains. Take the anger and turn it into discipline. Take the loneliness and turn it into compassion. Take the abandonment and become somebody who stays. Take the fear and use it to understand the frightened boy standing behind another man's rage. Turn the wound into wisdom. That does not mean pretending the wound was a gift. Some pain should never have happened. It means refusing to let the pain exist without creating something stronger from it. They taught boys how to fight the world. Now we must teach them how to survive the war inside themselves. We must teach them that strength without direction becomes destruction. Anger without purpose becomes poison. Power without character becomes abuse. And masculinity without love becomes another prison. A man is not measured by how much pain he can hide. He is measured by what he creates from the pain he survives. Can he protect without controlling? Can he lead without humiliating? Can he remain kind without becoming defenseless? Can he accept responsibility without drowning in shame? Can he break the cycle? That is the challenge. Not becoming the hardest man in the room. Becoming the most grounded, the most disciplined, the one who does not have to prove himself every time somebody questions him, the one who knows where he is going. And if you do not know where you are going yet, do not panic. You are not finished. Being lost is a condition. It is not an identity. Stop. Listen. Ask yourself what kind of man you would respect if nobody could see his money, his body, his possessions, or his status. What would remain? His word, his discipline, his courage, his compassion, his loyalty, his ability to create safety. Build that man. Build him slowly. Build him honestly. Build him every day. Become the man you needed when you were a boy. Then turn around. Find another young man who believes he has to face the world alone and show him the way.